Back on March 3rd, this is 4 days after the U.S. and Israel attacked Iran, famed Wall Street investor, Avenue Capital CEO Marc Lasry predicted this on the Claman Countdown.
And I think it's 6 months from now, we're in a far better place. I think what's happening, the world's going to be much safer 6 months from now, a year from now. And if you think of that, that means that's a better investment environment.
Now, since March 3rd, look at what markets have done. They have moved at a steady clip to the upside, with the Dow up 7%, S&P up nearly 9%, and the NASDAQ tracking higher by 13%. Now, Marc is back with us right here in studio today, 5 months after your last appearance. Clearly, the world, I never really felt unsafe, but it may or may not be a safer place. We don't know. People are still nervous about the markets, but you were dead correct when you said it would be a better investing atmosphere. What do you see now? Because we had a lot of news today. President Trump says that the ceasefire is over. He's done. He called the Iranians scum. He's over. He said, I found out who they really were. And now we know that there's more tension coming.
I think that's fine. It's, again, the whole key is our economy, right? And earlier you had people speak about AI and what's happening and the need for energy. I think what you're seeing is, as long as inflation is flat or up a little, down a little, everything's okay. And you still have, you want to be invested in the United States. That's all it is. And you see that the markets have done well. They're going to continue to do well. So I'm still pretty optimistic about what's going on.
Well, talk about that optimism, because you have that kind of mind, that investment mind, where you look and hunt and find dislocations in the market and profit from them. You saw a dislocation. The markets had fallen precipitously. Oil had spiked.
Yes.
What do you see now? Where do you see opportunity?
What I see is people are still nervous. Like, even though the economy is doing well, and what I've sort of found in doing this for a long time is when things are going well, what everybody's worried about is when things are going to stop. So everybody starts predicting, oh, you're going to have bad things happen in 3 months, 6 months, a year, or 2 years. I sort of find, like, you want to take advantage of that nervousness. And that's what we're doing right now, where you have people who want cash, people who want money, people who want to sell certain things. And we take advantage of that.
Well, I remember during COVID, when the airlines were all grounded and nobody knew when that would end, you were lending at a pretty significant rate to the airlines to keep them afloat. What types of companies are you lending to now?
So we're doing a lot in Europe, because there is still a lot of nervousness in Europe. So we're lending to industrial companies, to real estate companies. We're doing the same thing in Asia. In the U.S., the biggest focus is really on sports, and we're finding huge opportunities there. Really, the opportunity is just people want cash, right? So when people get nervous, they want to have cash. So they think they'll take advantage of that opportunity. Problem is, when things start going down, then they're worried they're going to go down further, and then so they just wait. And what we want is people who like being on the sidelines.
Are you almost like private credit? You're lending at a really solid rate. And what is the rate that you lend at?
So we were lending probably earlier at SOFR plus 5 or 6. I think today we're lending SOFR plus 7. So we're lending at a higher rate because there's more need for capital.
Let's talk about SOFR, because we don't assume that everybody knows what SOFR stands for. Just explain in a nutshell.
It's what LIBOR was. It's the rate that the banks lend at. So you sort of look at that rate, and if you're a great credit risk, you're borrowing at that rate. Maybe it's +1, right? So for us, what we're trying to do is still lend to people who we think are good risk, but they're having a hard time. And really the problem is, if you don't have a solid cash flow, it's hard to borrow money. So we actually lend on the asset value. And we'll lend you at 50, 60, 70% of that asset value. Because what we'd love, maybe I shouldn't say this.
Say it.
No, it's that if people default, you then get control of the asset.
Yeah.
So obviously, if they do default, we're fine with it.
Because you control the asset.
Yes, because they're in
So when
control.
you're looking to lend, you look at an asset and you say, if it were to default,
I would love to own it.
I would
Yes.
love to own it.
Yes, that's exactly it.
Okay,
Yes.
that's very much what you are, the Duke of distressed debt. It's okay. We're capitalists here at Fox
Yes,
Business.
I know.
Any way that you make money as long as it's legal. But,
Yes.
you know, when you talk about exactly what you're seeing when it comes to rates, the Federal Reserve, we got the Fed minutes today,
Yep.
and they all see inflation, at least at the moment, kind of remaining elevated, where it
Yes.
is at the moment, 4.2% headline
Yes.
PCE. How does that affect anything that you decide to do?
It doesn't affect anything we do. I mean, I think for us, again, we're lending based on an asset that we think we've got a lot of room for. If there's a problem, we're going to be fine. What it will affect is that if rates go up, then we're going to make a higher return because we're going to continue to raise our rates. So that for us ends up being a benefit.
Have you seen any defaults? Have you seen any movement in an increase in defaults?
I think you've got more restructurings that are going on. And
To
that's
avoid default.
Yes, and we're seeing that, and that's why you've got a greater need for capital. People don't want to default, and what I mean by that is, by going in bankruptcy, it's just a long process.
Sure.
Right, so you're trying to do restructurings, and banks don't want somebody to default, and private credit firms don't want default. So they'll lend more to try to make sure, but they'll get paid for that. So that's what we're also doing.
Well, you are wearing two hats. You are a sports guy all through and through. You used to own the Milwaukee Bucks. You are very involved in sports broadly.
Yes.
Many investments in teams. Pickleball, how's that going?
It's actually going great. We're starting to look at padel. We just invested in a women's soccer team in North Carolina. That's actually going great.
Speaking of soccer, tonight, Morocco versus tomorrow rather.
Yes.
Morocco versus France.
Yes,
You are Moroccan born.
I am, and I'm going.
Oh my gosh.
Of course I'm going.
Excited?
I'm trying to play.
Okay,
They don't want me on the team. I've said, look, I can pass. I may not be able to score, but I can pass.
It's Boston. Just put on the accent and say, let me sit on the bench.
I'm going to try. I don't think they will, but I've got good seats, so I'll be there. I'll be cheering on.
Okay, but you speak French, but you are Moroccan, so
Yes.
you're rooting for Morocco.
I'd like Morocco to win because I was born there. If France win, it's fine. My first team was USA, but somehow they lost. I don't know how. So now my second team's Morocco. Yes.
It's been an amazing, amazing moment to watch this World
is.
Cup. Non-soccer fans have become soccer fans.
Yes.
I give a lot of credit to Fox Sports. They've done it beautifully.
They've done a great job.
I mean, they're within our family, but I didn't used to be that interested. Fox Sports has done an amazing job, and you see it with the ratings. And so is there opportunity? You say women's soccer. Why women's soccer? It's sort of like men's soccer might be too expensive of a team to purchase.
There's a huge arbitrage.
Really?
If a men's soccer team's $1 billion and a women's soccer team's $150 million, which one would you rather do?
Yeah.
I'd rather do that. Also, my son is running, he's the head of the host committee in New York for FIFA. So it's actually, we've been going to the games. It's been fabulous. And look, think of what Argentina did yesterday. I mean, everything that's been happening, it's exciting, it's fun. And I think what Americans are finding out, and most people are finding out, a score of 3-2 is actually really exciting.
I know.
Where you wouldn't have thought that would be the
like
case.
hockey.
Yes, you wouldn't have thought that was the case. So.
Yeah, very different from basketball. Marc,
Yes.
fascinating to watch what you do and how you are doing it. Thank you so very much for coming on.
No, thank you for having me as always.
See you again.
See you soon.